Well, everyone, it's Dan here from SiteCreate. I'm just going to take you through a quick tour of how to get started with SiteCreate Documentor Plus. So at the moment we're just going to set up a quick sample documentation just to show you how the plugin works and a few of its features. We've got a fresh installation with the basic WordPress theme. In this case it's 2016. Just to give you a perfect example of how it can be used to create a really good documentation site with any theme. It's very, very straightforward. Okay, so let's jump into it. We'll go into our admin area, and in the plugins we're going to activate the plugin here. And once done, you'll notice in the settings you've got our documentation settings here. Now before we go through these, we'll just show you the widget itself, and that can be found under Appearance and Widgets, and here is our documentation widget, so I'll just drop that in there. So the way it works, we would simply give the widget a title like you normally would. You then need to supply a content area selector. Now that basically means the part of your theme which shows the content that's going to be used to create your documentation or your page. To give you an example of how we would find this, let me just quickly whip up a new page. And we'll call this Sample Documentation 1. I'm just going to grab some random text. Perfect. And I'm just going to start dropping in some titles. Now the idea here, you can create a documentation from any sort of post or page. The way that it works is you simply use the headings, so either heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on, to create different anchor points within the table of contents. To give you a kind of better example, I'm just going to add some titles now. So getting started, we'll make that a H1. And then if we wanted to have subsections of this, we'll make heading 2. And we can also go down to heading 3 if we wanted to. So I'll just replicate this. Okay, so before we publish, just to give you now a rundown of what we've done, we've created a few sample sections here. Now obviously your documentation can have videos, images, anything like that. We're just kind of creating this for the sake of the video. You can see each section we've given a unique title, so it's a H1 followed by a heading 2, heading 3, and so on and so forth. So let's publish this and take a look. You can see there on the side we've got a nice documentation going on. We can click and we are forwarded to the relevant section. Perfect. But there is a bit more to go. Now then, what we can do is jump into the options, and within the widget options you'll see we've got areas to pop in the entry content. So to give you a better example there, in this theme we want the content area here where all this is held. So we right click, hit inspect, and in the browser you can see there this is called entry content, so that's what we type into the widget settings. And same for the headings to use. So if you want to use H1, H2, H3, you can do that. That's what's suggested, but you can put in any combination of headings you want to create the table of contents from as you wish. Then we've got the scroll offset. So just to give you a better example of what that means, when you click one of these links you can see it takes you down to a certain point of the page. Now you may have a fixed header or something which you've got to account for, so if you want the offset of that scroll to give you plenty of space, we can pop that in there. So if we refresh and just click a link, you can see there that title now sits perfectly at the top. Before we go deeper into the widget settings, which we'll cover in another video, we'll just give a quick overview of the plugin's overall settings. So we'll just head to that. You can see here we've got a few different tabs. It's pretty much straightforward. We can enable the sticky widget if we want to. We can choose a top margin for that sticky widget. We can choose whether or not to show or hide other widgets, as well as enabling custom styling and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and save that and take another look. Okay, so you can see here things have changed already. We've now got our table of contents have now shrunk, so we've got an option here where we can have the titles act as collapsible points. That you can turn that off if you want as well. So just here where you can see collapse TOC, we'll set that to no, and you can see there it's all shown in full. And one quick setting I'll show before we cover this a bit more in depth in another video is you can see here as we're scrolling up and down, it kind of looks a bit messy because there's other widgets in the way. You can either give this a background color, or what we prefer is to hide the other widgets. So when this is active, you can actually have the plugin hide any other widgets in the same space. So you can see there we're now left with one, which is absolutely perfect. And there we go, that's a quick overview. I suppose I should mention the downloads. You can access, you can change this however you want. You can have either a PDF or a HTML download. It's all generated for you automatically, or you can even disable this as you wish. We'll cover this a bit more in a few videos. This one's gone on a bit longer than I anticipated, but we do hope you like the look of the plugin. Do keep watching if you want to know more, and if you've got any questions, let me know. Thanks.